Hey guys, it's Betamax here, always, forever with Fidel and Eddie, and we're continuing the saga that we started in the last episode with the prequels, and now we're moving on to the original trilogy, episodes 4, 5, and 6.
So the original trilogy started off with A New Hope, released in 1977. Now this one...
How old were you guys?
Fuck, man, I wasn't even a fucking cell yet.
My bad.
Okay, Dragon Ball Z.
But yeah, this one came out 77. And fucking birdie, dude.
I just got the reference. I just got the reference. All right, my bad. My bad.
It's all staying in, by the way. 77. Star Wars, A New Hope. Originally just titled Star Wars. But I didn't see this movie for a while. Like I said, I saw the prequels first. Empire, Empire was the first movie I saw, but I don't remember that one. But the ones I remember were the prequels, and this one I didn't see for a while. Do you guys remember seeing this movie, like, at all?
Yeah. After the prequels, Star Wars was dormant for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
So I needed more.
Yeah.
So the person who showed me Empire ended up showing me the other two episodes, A New Hope and Return.
Yeah.
Which definitely put another level onto my Star Wars fanboy, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah. Craze.
Yeah. But yeah, I remember seeing A New Hope after I was done with the prequels because I think it was like junior year of high school.
Mm-hmm.
Revenge of the Jedi was already out for maybe like
Return. You said Revenge.
Sorry, Revenge of the Sith. What I meant to say was already out for some time.
Yeah.
And I just wasn't ready to get over Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
So I was introduced to the other two episodes, which, like I said, it piqued my interest way more now. So I remember seeing that at home, actually, because I used to have those big ass bulky TVs with the built-in VCR players.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, I used to have one of those in my room, and like the person who showed me Empire decided to let me borrow the rest of the VHSs.
Yeah.
So I just remember going home and just popping in the original trilogy, and that was still the beginning of everything for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you remember your first experience with A New Hope?
Yeah, it was on a hot ass day in Hemet, and it was boring as hell. And my uncle just played it. Had no idea what Star Wars was,
Yeah.
but it caught my interest, and just the VHS, just the artwork alone caught my eye, and I remember my uncle was excited to show me, and I think he knew that it was gonna do something to me after I watched him. It was gonna intrigue me and change everything, and it did. So I remember the first time I watched it, I liked it a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But I was also young kid, so I didn't fully understand it, and I didn't appreciate this movie for what it was until many years later.
Mm.
I think it was in high school when I really, really appreciated it.
Yeah.
And completely understood the lore behind it, and what understood what made it the big thing it was. It wasn't just your typical sci-fi film that's just oh, okay, cool explosions and stuff, which it did have, but yeah.
But yeah, I mean, looking up about the movie, it was like super successful, you know. They re-released it in 78, 79, 81, and 82. And like this movie is credited as reinvigorating fucking 20th Century Fox. But
I would say this movie is responsible for a lot of filmmakers nowadays.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think any sci-fi movie is influenced by Star Wars now.
Yeah.
Like, no matter what it is.
Because there was sci-fi before Star Wars, but it wasn't. But it wasn't. Like, it wasn't as epic as it should have been.
Yeah.
It wasn't a respected era or genre of film yet until Star Wars kind of changed the game.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
But not only for that genre alone, like I said, it for filmmakers everywhere, like using John Williams to score a space opera and making sure that every character and every world they were in was built to be livable in,
Yeah.
It really changed the spectrum on imagination towards making a film, which like I said, it changed the way filmmakers made their films. And I think without this movie, I don't think we would have a lot of what we were getting right now. So
yeah, definitely. Like the visual effects alone, I mean, for the time, 77, it looks good, looks great. That opening shot of the Star Destroyer, like, to me, that still holds up.
Yeah, I mean, all that shit still looks gnarly.
Yeah. Just like the resources he had, like, what he was able to do with what he had is just incredible.
Yeah.
Do you remember your, like, thoughts on it, like, seeing all this for the first time?
It just looked real.
Yeah.
Like, and it's crazy to think about because there's no CGI in it. It's, like, all, like, practical effects.
Yeah.
But they just found, like, a way to, like, fuck with the camera and, like, add backgrounds to things that are, like, just layer film in a way. Like, you can't, like it's hard to picture how much work went into it now. It's, like, frustrating to think about, like, how much they had to do back then. And like you said, like, it still holds up really well today.
Yeah, it does.
And like, especially like if you watch like the ones like the originals without before like all the CGI was added to it. Like, it holds up so good. And one thing I like about it, like, even the stuff that doesn't look as great, like, it's still like campy and fun. Like, it's what made us appreciate it. Like, if there's, like, something that stands out, like, that doesn't look as well, like, as it could have, or, like, as it, of course, like, as compared to stuff now.
Yeah.
Like, that's what made me appreciate it and like it so much. Like, because it looked kind of crappy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
It made me, like, appreciate how hard they worked for that scene. And, in a weird way, like, that holds up better than, like other movies around that era that, like, I guess for the time being, like, looked better.
Yeah.
But they just aged terrible.
Yeah. And like, they didn't think this movie was going to be a success, Like, it was just going to be one movie. Like, that's why it was just called Star Wars. It didn't receive the subtitle until, I believe, like 1980, before Empire came out. Because, like, it became so popular, and, like I already mentioned this, they re-released it in theaters. But when they re-released it, I believe, in 1980, that's when they had added the subtitle on the opening scroll that said A New Hope.
Well, this is, like, the one Star Wars movie that doesn't end, like, on a cliffhanger or anything either.
Yeah.
Like, it's a good standalone film. So,
yeah, because,
like,
the ending is... It has, like... It's very well book-ended, I guess you could say.
Yeah. It has, like, the beginning, the middle, and the end, and that's it.
Yeah, the story behind this... Behind the making of this movie is...
It's just as interesting as
the
movie itself.
It is.
Yeah, because George Lucas was like, he was like one of us, dude.
Yeah, because he was coming off of American Graffiti, I believe.
Yeah, and before that, he had done THX, and that's all he had under his belt.
Yeah.
I think what helped this movie too was like the casting. Like all these characters had like great chemistry between each other.
Oh, definitely.
And like I think that's something that a lot of sci-fi films didn't have.
Yeah.
Like they had like these down to earth like kids pretty much, you know, like these young kids. And you know, like to be able to pull off chemistry between two droids and one of them not speaking.
Yeah.
Like think about how hard that is to pull off. Like the fact that you care about like R2D2 when he's like doesn't like
he's
say a
just
single
beeping,
word.
basically.
Yeah, like it's crazy to think about. Like,
and they're able to convey emotion and just like the way he beeps. You know what I mean?
And like that's so difficult to do, and they pulled it off somehow.
Yeah.
Like for a movie to make you care like about these droids, and even like Han Solo, like in this movie, he's not like your typical hero. Like
he's kind of like a dirtbag.
Yeah, he's like this cocky asshole, and by the end, like he has like this little arc where like you know he even says so like in one of the lines from the movie he says like you know I'm only in it for the money.
Yeah.
And of course at the end like he has a change of heart.
Yeah.
Like you know they're more or less friends.
Yeah, the build up in these characters is really really good in this film.
Yeah, and like it has like really funny moments too. Like they're like legitimately funny. Like they still make me crack up today.
Yeah.
And like I said, like I think that's something that was missing from like sci-fi films, being like having characters that were so like charismatic and had like this really great bond with each other, and you could tell like off camera like they were good friends too.
Yeah.
Like, just because I said like the chemistry was so like great between them.
Yeah.
And like it's crazy, like because some of my favorite scenes from like the original like trilogy are just like them talking.
Yeah.
Like little things like that, like
the dialogue, it's so engaging.
Yeah, and like I said, like it's just because who they were, like how like they responded to each other, and like it just made you feel like I can relate to these characters.
Oh, definitely.
Like I have a little bit of Luke in me. I have a little bit of Han Solo. Like even Chewbacca, like he doesn't speak, you know.
Yeah,
like,
it's just grunting.
Yeah, he grunts and stuff, but you fucking care about him.
Yeah.
And so it's like it's really cool, like that they were able to pull that off.
Yeah.
So I always thought that was awesome.
What do you think about the movie, Birdie?
I thought it was great. I thought, like I said, this movie was a game changer for a lot of people. And this movie was definitely the first movie I watched where the characters stuck with me.
Yeah.
Because I didn't really get that from the prequels.
Yeah.
I kind of got I got a lot of spectacle from those films.
Oh, yeah. They were mostly spectacle.
Yeah, but from this film... and
it had heart.
Yeah, it had heart, and it had characters that I could, like, take with me wherever I went and kind of relate to them, or not even that, but just rely on what they said and how they looked at things.
Yeah.
You know? With Princess Leia kind of being the force that kind of wants to do everything in her power to save as many people as she can, but is ultimately, you know, powerless unless she teams up with her brother and this weird guy, you know.
Yeah.
This cowboy. And then
who
Luke,
she doesn't know that's her brother. Yeah.
Yeah. And then Luke, you know, like with being a farm boy and like growing up in a desert farm, looking for something new in his life, and then finding it and taking a chance, you know. And then Han Solo being kind of a selfish douchebag.
Yeah, but you still care about him.
Yeah.
Because like Harrison Ford did such a great job of like being able to come off as an asshole, but an asshole you could sympathize with.
Yeah.
You kind of like root for him in a way, you know?
Yeah. But I definitely love this movie for that. And this movie was the first to build its worlds.
Yeah.
And its characters in the most appropriate and most unique way.
Yeah.
So, definitely one I'm taking to the grave.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I think the choice of using classical music for a sci-fi
Yeah.
was like a bold choice, and it paid off perfectly. Like,
Yeah. I
that's
mean,
like
look
the
what it
one
did for
score
John Williams.
Yeah, that's like the score that everyone knows. Like, you know, like everyone, you play the score, and
It's
nobody's
so
gonna say, "Oh, what is this
recognizable.
from?"
Yeah. Everybody knows it. One thing I did like notice was like how Luke is a bit whiny.
I like that though.
Yeah.
He's a kid.
Yeah, like
He's a kid in this.
You know what? I didn't look at it like that. You're
Yeah.
right. You're right.
Cause he's a farm boy. He's not a farm man. You know.
You're right. You're
and
right.
he's still
He's a
going to
kid.
school too.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty naive to the outside world. Okay. Yeah. Because I remember I like rewatching it. I was just like, man, like he's fucking complaining a lot. Like.
Yeah, but it's funny because like he develops so much because I mean, how fast would you grow up if you saw your parent figures torched in front
That
of your
was
eyes?
brutal. That
You know.
that was brutal. For this being, it was PG, I believe.
Yeah.
And like being a kids movie, for them to show like burnt corpses, I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, and like just him seeing that and making a choice. You know,
Yeah.
stay here and die or
Do something about it.
do something about it and
Because he had voiced that he wanted to leave anyway, you know?
yeah, that was his plan. You know, get into the academy and leave the planet, but it was for selfish reasons. But now it's mostly for the right reasons. You know?
Yeah.
Like I have to do something about my situation, so taking a leap of faith.
And then like another thing was, I guess, I want to point out, look, because we're probably going to be praising this movie a lot, but I do want to like nitpick certain things. The whole lightsaber thing, like, he's so easily able to hold and like control a lightsaber like right away. I just thought that was a little strange.
How so? What do you mean?
Like, I feel, from my understanding anyway, like, I'm not as well versed with the whole Star Wars lore as you guys are, but from my understanding, like, you got to be like trained, seasoned to be able to even control a lightsaber, right?
Yes and no.
Well, no, I mean the lightsaber is just like an object. Like anyone can use it. Like it's just
okay.
like picking up a sword. Like you don't have to be force sensitive to use it.
Because I thought it was like, it's what the Force is what took you like controlling the fucking beam that comes out.
No,
No?
because even Han Solo uses it in the Empire.
That's right.
I would say the sword is like
It's more of a symbol.
it's more of a
Spit it out, Birdie.
an instrument for your fuck man. It's more of like a conductor's instrument, you know, like it's like something for you to focus on, to help you focus.
Mm-hmm.
So in a way, the way I see it, a lightsaber helps a new Jedi control his powers, control his mind, focus, you know, use this instrument to kind of mellow himself out.
Because he isn't like very good at it. Because you know he's training in on the Millennium Falcon,
Yeah.
and he's like getting frustrated with it.
Yeah, he's terrible.
And so you know, of course, Obi-Wan's trying to guide him and you know tell him close your eyes and focus. And so I thought that was cool, and like I like how
Because if you notice, he doesn't tell him, like, he's not really teaching him how to use a lightsaber in that scene.
he's showing him how to use the Force.
Yeah, he's more of teaching him how to use the Force. And what better way of doing that but by giving someone an instrument to kind of use as an outlet
Mm-hmm.
to use that, you know? Like when you have a melody in your head, it's like you're not going to get it out on your own. I have to give you this piano to do so. But I'm not really teaching you how to make music. Like you already know how to make music. I just need to show you how to get it out there.
Okay.
You know what I
That
mean?
makes sense.
And yeah, like I like how he doesn't like immediately just like pick up the lightsaber and go fight Darth Vader or anything. Like
Yeah,
he doesn't even use it like for the rest of the movie after that.
Mm-hmm.
that's true.
Like you see him training with it, and then that's the end of it.
Yeah. I don't know. I thought it was like, it just caught my attention.
Yeah.
But I mean, you guys explained it. I get it.
Interesting point though.
Yeah,
Thanks
so-
for bringing that up.
But yeah, like you said, like I like that little arc of him like being like this like bratty little teenager, like wanting to. He was aspiring to be something greater.
Yeah.
He wanted to be like a pilot fighting for the rebellion,
Yeah.
and you know he expresses like hate for the Empire and all that, and like it just happens to be like fate that he meets Obi-Wan and the droids, and they kill his uncle, and so it kind of like worked in his favor, like you know, oh, I get to go fight in the Resistance now,
Yeah.
or rebellion. But I wanted to talk about one scene that I think is like my favorite scene out of like the entire
The
Star
whole
Wars
saga?
trilogy. The entire thing. It's just when he's
the whole saga.
the whole saga.
The whole. All right, go ahead.
It's the scene where he's standing outside his house and he's watching the
Oh,
two
dude.
suns set
Oh, that's such a beautiful
with
shot.
that John Williams theme in the back.
Yeah.
I think that's like my favorite scene from like all of Star Wars. Everything.
It's
the
beautiful.
whole saga.
It's beautiful. It's just it looks beautiful, sounds beautiful.
Yeah,
like
it looks great. I'm just like, man, this is like, he doesn't say a single word, but he's just looking out into the sun,
And
the suns.
you feel what he feels.
Yeah, he's destined for something greater.
Yeah.
To be like a farmer, and like, he's just like, I don't know. It's almost like it's foreshadowing, like something he's in store for something greater
yeah.
than this life. But
Yeah, no, that's such a beautiful shot. Like, I really don't have a lot of gripes with this movie. Like, I wouldn't say it's perfect, but it's damn near perfect. I mean, it's
Something close.
Yeah, it's very close. I mean, in my for it being a movie made in '77, like it looks very good. The story is engaging. The performances are very good. It keeps you interested throughout.
how did you guys feel about Darth Vader as a kid?
As a kid, I thought
he was scary.
I didn't think he was like scary. Well, like I said, I didn't see this movie until I was a teenager.
Oh.
So I just thought like, oh, that's he's cool. Big menacing guy. It's like hell yeah, bad guy. I thought he was like the ultimate bad guy with the breathing problem.
The fucking respirator. Yeah.
What did you think about him?
I liked him. I liked how they didn't expect him to be as big as he was gonna be.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, they didn't plan for a sequel for this movie because they didn't know that it was
Yeah.
gonna be like this big hit. But like, I love that he had that menacing voice, and he was like this tall, dark figure that he was just fucking mysterious, and like, you don't see his face at all. You don't know like anything about him really, and like I just remember thinking as a kid, like, man, this is like Brady said, like he was like scary almost, like. And then of course, he has that red lightsaber, and you're just like, man, that's so cool.
So tight.
Yeah, so fucking tight.
So fucking tight. What did you guys think of the battle between him and Obi-Wan?
I love the emotional weight that battle has.
Yeah.
Yeah, that battle wasn't meant for spectacle, but it was definitely meant for emotional weight.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I think like a lot of it too was like the uncertainty of like the actors and even like the filmmakers. They didn't know like how good the effects were gonna be for the lightsabers.
Yeah.
So like, it was just like a quick little battle that they had, and like I didn't think like they didn't think it was gonna be like this big thing, like like, can you imagine like doing that in '77 and like being an actor with that like that big heavy sword.
Yeah.
And like back then it had like a real heavy rod on it.
Yeah.
So like you're like you're clashing these things, and like there's no real cure. Like the moves weren't like anything epic. Like
Yeah.
Brady said, like it's not meant to be a spectacle. It's more like an emotional weight that they have,
Yeah.
And of course, like Darth Vader strikes Obi-Wan down.
But
And-
I mean, Obi-Wan lets him.
Yeah, it's almost like, you know, like.
What
he's
would you say
ready.
he struck him down? Because he kind of like disappears before he even hits him.
They don't really like expand on that like ever.
Yeah.
So like till this day, like I'm not sure like what happened.
But I mean, it's pretty clear that Obi-Wan like let him, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
because he looks over at Luke, kind of like.
Like he kind of does like
This
the
is
whole.
my time, you
yeah.
know, like. So like, I remember like when I first watched it, I was confused. I'm like, did he die or did he not? Like,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah,
am I thinking like, is he invisible? Like, like what happened? Because like his cloak falls.
Yeah. It just it just like falls like
It falls, and then if you notice, Darth Vader kind of stomps on it.
yeah.
Like he kind of like.
Yeah,
Like, is
that's
there
why I was like,
something
is he
there?
invisible? Like, are you there?
He's like, all right, I'm out. I
And then,
just
like-
thought like it was strange. To me, I was confused by that just because like I didn't see a purpose in why he would do that if he did just allow himself to die.
That's how I was when I first watched it as a kid, and like I said, it wasn't until like I was in high school that I rewatched and like I understood it more and like I appreciated it a lot more than what it was.
So what would you say your interpretation of that decision is? Because to be honest, I still don't get it. Like, why would he do that? He wasn't losing.
That was more for Luke than anything.
Yeah.
I think it was more the way I see it. It was more of a, I'm handing down this mantle over to you.
Okay.
I'm giving you the chance to step up, but I'm only gonna get in the way. But I can teach you from a distance.
And like he says, like, if you strike me down, like I'll become more powerful than you could ever imagine.
Yeah.
And like, and you do get that like scene later on where Luke is flying the X-wing
Yeah.
over the Death Star, and he's talking to him. You know, he's like, "Use the Force, Luke." And
Which that
guiding
whole
him.
sequence is awesome.
Yeah, even now, like it holds up and looks
Yeah.
fucking amazing. And like I thought that was like interesting. Like I've never seen that in a movie where like somebody's talking to like someone else and guiding them through like this like psychic ability thing almost, and like you just like he just puts all his trust in the Force because of that.
Yeah.
And like you just know like, oh shit, like this is like legit, like, you know, because like of course Han Solo's like the one that's like really like anti the Force, like
Yeah.
he doesn't believe in it. He thinks it's like
It's silly to him.
yeah, you know. So like I thought that was like Luke's like peak, like at like, yeah, like I'm gonna become a Jedi.
And before moving on to Empire, I do want to point out Carrie Fisher as Leia. I love how she wasn't like the typical damsel in distress.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, yeah, they did go to save her, but she kind of like
Takes
also
over.
yeah, she takes over, and it's just like that whole line, like what kind of rescue is this, you know? Like they did. I feel like they did a good job in writing that.
I like even how when she's like kept prisoner, she's still like making fun of everyone too.
Yeah.
Like, you
Like,
know,
she
Luke
doesn't show
Skywalker walks
fear.
in and she's like, "Aren't you a little short to be a stormtrooper?"
Yeah, like she doesn't show any fear.
Yeah.
They made her
thought
like
that was cool.
a strong character.
Yeah,
Wait.
they definitely broke ground on that aspect of certain female characters,
Yeah.
where it's like we always have to save the girl, and this time it's like not really.
Yeah.
You know, we're all on the same level here.
Yeah. I like that they did that.
How do you guys feel about like Chewbacca not getting a medal at the end?
Yeah, that's fucked up, bro.
I honestly didn't even realize. He doesn't?
Yo,
No.
they probably gave him like some badass doggy treat or something. Or he probably ate that shit.
A Wookiee treat? I didn't even realize that.
Yeah, at the end of the celebration, Han Solo and Luke Skywalker get a medal.
But he doesn't.
He's just standing next to them chilling.
He's like, that's cool.
Oh man.
Nah, I never realized that. That's crazy.
Yeah.
But so then Empire comes out 1980. It takes place 3 years after New Hope. And this is the very first Star Wars movie I ever saw. And I mentioned it before, you know, like I don't remember it. But I do remember that it was the first one I ever saw. And when I did rewatch it, it's definitely one of my favorites. Like I love this movie. Like
I think this is the one I rewatched the most as well.
yeah, definitely. Because even in rewatching it, like as I grew up, like I just there's very little I find wrong with it, you know. And so when rewatching it to do this episode, like it was just I had to nitpick, you know. I had to find things that because it was just shit that like okay, like this movie's awesome, you know. But Eddie, do you remember like your first experience watching this movie? Like, what was your reaction to it?
I just remember I was excited that I got to see like another lightsaber fight.
Yeah.
And I was excited that I got to see Boba Fett.
Yeah. Oh yeah, this introduces Boba Fett.
Yeah, he doesn't do much in this, but it showed him for the first time, and like
that Mandalorian armor, man, it's like so cool looking.
I just remember him being like a big deal, like, cause like when I saw the VHS, of course, like the original trilogy was already out, and like and of course like everybody had like Boba Fett shirts and things like that, and like he was just like this bigger thing than what he really was.
Yeah.
So like I just remember like I would just get excited even though he was on screen for like a few seconds and all that. But I remember like I loved this movie when I was a kid, and I would rewatch it all the time.
Yeah.
And I think this is like the one Star Wars movie I've seen the most out of all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably for the same for me.
It has the most like replay value for me, I think.
Yeah, definitely. What about you, Birdie? Do you remember your reaction to seeing this movie for the first time?
Yeah. Like I said before, it was my first.
Yeah.
It's my first glimpse at the.
Into the Star Wars universe.
Yeah, and I remember one scene in particular was really like. I was like, whoa, what is that like? Like, is that like a gang or what is that? Like, I remember seeing those characters and being so intrigued by them. But it was the introduction to all the bounty hunters.
Yeah.
When they're standing on the deck of the was it the Death Star that they were?
No,
it was a Star Destroyer. It was
it was a Star Destroyer.
My bad, but they. But I remember seeing all those characters and being like, "Whoa, that's crazy!" Like, they have more bounty hunters. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
But I remember before I watched this movie too, I played this game called Shadows of the Empire for Nintendo 64. And like that game also expanded on those characters as well, but it's not canon at the moment.
Yeah.
But I remember like that was one of the scenes that I saw and I was like, whoa, who's that metal guy and who's that lizard dude and who's that fat dude with the fly for a head? Like I thought it was so intriguing. But besides that, I think this movie definitely did change the game for me as well. Because, like I said, it was my first experience with Star Wars. But other things that Eddie mentioned, like Boba Fett, and then Darth Vader, and then the lightsaber battle between him and Luke on, was it Cloud City?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I remember being so, like, intrigued by Han Solo getting frozen.
Yeah.
I remember seeing that and being like, whoa, that's weird. How do they do that?
Yeah, I think this is the first movie that I ever saw that had a cliffhanger like that, where like the bad guy kind of wins.
Yeah, because at the end of this movie, the bad guys win.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely.
Like Luke didn't finish his training, so he's fucking like beat to shit.
Loses his hand in this movie.
He loses his fucking hand, and Han Solo gets fucking frozen, and he's now part of Jabba's like prison. And then Princess Leia has to watch all this shit go down. You know, it's like she's probably the one that lost the most because it's like her little brother is now fucked up, and like the guy she's in love with is like probably dead.
Yeah.
So this movie.
She doesn't know that that's her brother yet, though, right?
Yeah, not yet.
Yeah, my bad.
His twin brother, not little brother.
Yeah, twin brother. Yeah, that's true. But yeah, this movie was my first experience with that as well, with the whole like not a happy ending type thing, you know, which I found intriguing, and it was very interesting for me because I mean I grew up watching Disney movies, and what Disney movie doesn't have an happy ending? You know? Yeah.
So, not only that, like I didn't really realize it till like years after I saw this movie for the first time, like that like Luke tries to commit suicide at the end.
Yeah.
He like
yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
he jumps off, like he doesn't know that he's gonna survive, that he's just gonna like land somewhere like where he's gonna be safe. Like he loses everything. He gets his hand chopped off. He finds out that
Vader's his
Vader's
dad.
father. Yeah,
Like
so
the most emo, the most evil dude in the universe is like your dad.
yeah, so like he just gives up on life and like he just jumps to his death. And they in the new movies they added like a yell that he does, which I don't like. They keep fucking with it.
Yeah.
But if you watch like the original like uncut ones, like before all they added all the shit, like
the
he doesn't
untampered
yell.
ones.
Yeah, like he doesn't yell. He
Yeah.
just jumps to his death and like he's just ready. He's accepts his death.
Yeah.
And I think when they added that yell, it just kind of made him seem like he was scared and like, which
It wouldn't make sense to add that yell, like, because if he's
he didn't like accidentally trip and fall over. Like
Yeah.
he jumped, like he let himself go. Like he was ready to just
he was trying to end it all.
yeah. So like that's pretty fucking dark.
Yeah.
Like especially for like the main hero in the film, like to just be like, all right, I'm out.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought that was like interesting. Like I didn't realize that until like later on. Like I really thought about, it. I'm like, oh, he just like tried killing himself. Like Jesus, like this is the hero of the movie.
And like I said, like there's very little I find wrong with this movie. Even rewatching it like today, like
It definitely like flushed out the characters to like a whole nother level.
Yeah.
And that includes like Darth Vader, like the villains
Yeah.
and the heroes. Like it flushed them out completely.
like I think my only like I guess complaint would be it would happen at the beginning, and it's with when Han goes out to find Luke, and he finds him like half frozen basically.
Mm-hmm.
And it was right after he sees Obi-Wan's Force Ghost, and he tells him that he needs to go to the Dagobah system to be trained by Yoda. And when Han is like trying to get him warmed up, Luke is kind of like, he's acting delusional. I don't know if you remember. And he's just like, Dagobah, Yoda. And he's like just repeating these words. That scene just like, it wasn't convincing to me.
It was just silly.
Yeah, it was silly to me. But that's literally like the only thing like in this entire movie.
I don't think I've noticed that. But
Yeah.
So Luke was fucked up.
Yeah.
He's like, what?
It's funny too because I think they added that on purpose too because I think he was like in a car crash, and like he fucked his face up, so he used what was it, the wombat or whatever the name of the creature was.
Yeah.
Like he gets.
Oh, like legit, like in real life, he got in a car accident.
I believe so. Yeah, like he like smashed his face. Like
So they wrote it into the story.
Yeah, to like explain like the
Why
scar
he-
or whatever he has on his face.
Oh shit.
So I thought that was cool. Like they put
I
that
didn't
in the
know that.
very
That's
beginning of
tight.
the movie to like set that up.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, this movie definitely like fleshed out everything and it like introduced new characters that were fucking amazing. Like even ones that don't talk. Like it introduces all the bounty hunters.
Yeah.
And like you just think they look cool.
Yeah.
You know, they're all
The
different.
costume design like of this movie is just incredible.
And then it introduces Yoda, which
Yeah.
is like
Yeah, the introduction of Yoda, the introduction of Lando.
yeah. And like this movie makes Han Solo even more of a badass.
Yeah.
Like you get that cool scene where they're on Cloud City and the doors open up and Darth Vader's like on the opposite side of like a dining table, whatever it is.
When Lando sets him up.
Yeah. And like immediately without saying anything, Han Solo just pulls his fucking gun out and just starts shooting him.
Yeah, that's.
And I'm just like, whoa. Like he didn't say
Yeah.
anything, he just pulls it out and just
Yeah,
starts
like
fucking
he's just like, fuck you, dude, I'm gonna kill you.
He's oh shit.
And then of course like he delivers that line, I know.
Oh yeah.
After later says I love you.
Yeah, and I guess he was supposed to respond with "I love you too," but Harrison Ford was just like, "Nah, I don't think Han Solo would say that," you know?
Because they kept trying to brainstorm between each other, like him and Leia, like, what would he say?
Yeah.
Well, like, they came up with like different lines, and then they were gonna settle on "I love you too," but then yeah, he ended up like, nah, I don't think that's
It's not Han Solo.
not very Han Solo of me.
Yeah,
And I think they set up the Empire to look more menacing than
Yeah.
A New Hope. And in A New Hope, they didn't have the Imperial March theme.
yeah,
It wasn't until this one where they introduced that theme. So like, not only do the bad guys have like their own theme song now, like everything just like Darth Vader seems more menacing in this one. Like when one of the officers like screws up, they just have that look on their face like, fuck. Like, Darth Vader's gonna kill me right now. Like, I'm gonna have to, like, be the bearer of bad news. And
Yeah.
he's gonna fucking choke me out and shit. But, like, it just sets the bad guys up to, like, be like, oh, yeah. Like, we're nothing to fuck with.
Yeah.
And like you said, they like, ultimately, like, they win in this movie.
Yeah.
You know, like I thought that was, like, interesting that they went, like, that really, really dark route. And then it does something that A New Hope never did either. It, like, adds imagery and, like, metaphors in this movie. Like, the whole, like, when Luke's training on Dagobah and he confronts, like, Darth Vader in that cave.
Oh, yeah.
And he chops Darth Vader's head off, and then, like, his face is inside Darth Vader's helmet.
Yeah.
Like, that shit's, like, pretty experimental, like, for being a Star Wars movie. And, like, you know, like, watching A New Hope, there's nothing that's even, like, close to that.
This movie is the most non-kids movie of all the Star Wars movies, I think. Well, besides Revenge of the Sith.
Well, I don't know. Like, A New Hope is pretty dark too. You know, you get that scene there where they chop off the hand. There's blood.
Yeah.
And all that, but and of course you see the corpse.
Yeah.
But I see what you mean. Like, yeah, like it doesn't have like any, like, I don't know. This movie's funny though too. Like, it's funnier than A New Hope.
Yeah.
And it's crazy how, like, they got all that to work, where it was, like, you know, a mixture of, like, funny and dark, and, like, they somehow balanced it perfectly.
Was there anything about the movie that you didn't like?
That I didn't like? It's crazy because, like, I don't know, there's, like, a damn near perfect film.
Yeah.
I didn't like that it ended.
I didn't like the part where the credits started rolling. No, but what about you, Brady? Is there anything about this movie that you didn't like?
No, dude. I love this movie. I think this movie is perfect the way it is.
Like, not even like a nitpicking type of thing like mine?
No, not at all.
No?
No.
I respect that. Yeah, like this movie's great. I mean, probably one of the most rewatchable ones of all of them.
And it introduces the Emperor.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You don't see him in the New Hope or anything. So you finally get to see, like, who controls Vader.
Yeah.
You see who, like, Vader answers to, and it's like, you know, there's someone above him that's even more fucked up.
Yeah, and
but yeah, as far as, like, critiquing this movie, like, it's damn near perfect. Like, even the camera work and the cinematography, like, it's all really good.
Yeah. Yeah, it really is.
So, like, this is one of those rare movies that I really can't say, like, a bad thing about it.
And with that, what about Return of the Jedi, which came out 1983? Do you guys remember, like, seeing that one? Like, what was your reaction to seeing that one when your first time seeing it?
I thought this one was there was like a time in my life where I used to, like, think it was the best one out of the three.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I used to rewatch it a lot, but I remember just rewatching it because of the scene with Darth Vader, Luke, and the Emperor.
Yeah.
Because that scene really, that's my favorite scene.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the whole, like, Emperor, like, taunting him, like, telling him, like, hit me.
Darth Vader's redemption.
Yeah, like, kill me, you know. But this movie, I think, is another. I think it's a great conclusion.
Mm-hmm.
Because this is technically the end of Anakin Skywalker saga.
Yeah, it is. Oh shit. Yeah.
Yeah, this is the end of what Episode 1 kind of set up.
Yeah.
And this was the real time where, after this movie ended, the Star Wars galaxy was dormant until, like I said, 2015. You know, until people started.
As far as, like, chronologically, you
Yeah.
mean, right? Yeah.
So I mean, there was nothing really added on after this Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
But yeah, I remember watching this one and thought it was a great conclusion, and for a while I thought it was better out of 3. But I mean, nowadays I think it's like third place out of the 3.
Yeah.
You know, first Empire, second, you know, third place Return of the Jedi. But yeah, still love it though.
Yeah.
And I still watch all of them the same way. But
Yeah, this for me, like, this is another one that, like, it's pretty hard for me to find something I disliked in it.
there's only there's only one thing I do dislike.
Ewoks, dude.
What?
I hated the
Oh,
Ewoks.
dude,
Really?
The Ewoks were sick,
Fuck
dude.
yeah, dude.
Nah, dude. I couldn't stand them.
But there's only one scene that I was like, I'm just gonna go take a piss.
What was that?
The canteen, the Jabba's palace, like musical scene.
Well, that wasn't added. That's like,
That was added on, right?
yeah.
Well, in the original one, it had a musical scene, but they changed it to a different song. And not only did they change it to a different song, but this different song breaks the fourth wall.
It
And
does?
Yeah, because the characters sing towards the camera, and they look at you while they're singing.
That's weird.
But in the original one, they're just doing a number, but they're not breaking the fourth wall. They're just performing for Jabba, which I thought was cool. But I just wasn't into it. Like, I remember watching the original, like, untempered one and just being like, it's a cool song. It's just not for me. It's just not for me. And then it definitely was like adding salt to the wound when George still did what he did, and he changed this. Like I said, he changed the song, but not only did he change it, but he fucking made the characters break the fourth wall for some reason. And it's like, when did this become like?
Dude, George Lucas is fucking nuts.
like,
Like, it boggles my mind what goes through his head.
It does,
Like,
dude. But I was like, why did these characters just look at me like?
So why do you hate the Ewoks, Eddie? Why are you so evil?
you expect me to believe these little
You
fucking
hate 'em?
bear creatures could defeat the fucking Empire?
Yeah, they're evil, dude.
Yeah, dude.
They fucking eat
Oh,
people.
dude.
Have you ever seen a sheepdog fight? They go for the ankles, man. Those are the Ewoks, dude. They go for fucking ankles, dude.
There is a theory about those little Ewoks though,
What?
that they do eat people.
I believe it.
Because there's like someone pointed out a scene where like there's like dead stormtrooper bodies in one scene, but then they disappear. But then like if you look in the background, they're kind of like piled up in the Ewok village, and they're like, wait, what are you doing with those?
They're eating them, homie.
What are you doing with those fucking bodies?
Cannibals.
Hey, never mind. I like Ewoks now.
Because they're cannibals. The beginning of the movie is that's when they're rescuing Han Solo, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And like they have that whole
this one's the one that begins with basically the completion of Luke becoming a Jedi,
yeah.
because it starts with him building his lightsaber, the
Yeah.
green one.
Yeah.
You know what's crazy? They cut that scene out too.
I know.
There's an actual scene of him like building his lightsaber, and for some reason they didn't add it to the movie.
Yeah.
Okay, they didn't add it, but does it show him acquiring that lightsaber? Because I remember
No.
rewatching it, and the whole sequence at the Sarlacc pit, and R2 throwing him the lightsaber. I was just like, wait, where did that lightsaber come from?
It doesn't show him building it or anything.
Yeah,
So-
because he's in a cave and R2's waiting for him outside.
Oh, okay.
But in the cave, he's assembling a lightsaber, kind of symbolizing his completion of becoming a Jedi,
Yeah.
learning the Jedi way, and just being the chosen one's son to bring him back. you
Yeah.
know? So I thought that was tight.
I was just like, what the fuck? That lightsaber came out of nowhere.
Yeah, it doesn't show any of it, so
Yeah.
you don't know
Yeah.
until that scene where R2 shoots it out, and you're like, oh fuck, it's a green lightsaber.
Yeah.
And like, at this point you thought they were only like blue and red,
Yeah.
so it was like this cool little new thing.
And purple.
And yellow.
Can't do my homie Mace Windu like
Well,
that?
I'm talking about like watching it back when they were first released.
Yeah, no, I know.
But no, man, like this movie for me had a lot of fucking problems.
Yeah?
Yeah,
Like what?
it's like a lot of the effects do not hold up at all.
Yeah.
A
You know
lot.
what? Yeah.
What? That CGI looks tight.
No, like a lot of the CGI, especially like when they're like in that desert, like going towards the Sarlacc pit,
Yeah.
like it just looks terrible.
It was definitely
And-
ambitious.
For the time.
I don't know, but it's like crazy that these two other movies that came out years prior to that look way better and hold up more.
Yeah,
than
that's
this new
true.
Movie, and I'm pretty sure they had a bigger budget for this movie, so I don't know. They just went skimpy, maybe.
Maybe.
But yeah, that the Ewoks, I just did not like. I think they were pointless. I think it was just like a marketing scheme to get more kids into the movies.
Probably.
Yeah,
Because like the other two were so dark, and you get like this new one. It's like, oh fuck, how are we gonna appeal to the little kids?
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, let's add Ewoks.
This
They're gonna
one.
destroy the Empire.
Yeah. This one is also the reveal of Luke and Leia being brother and sister.
I have a problem with that too.
Why?
Okay, so when he finally tells Leia, you know, like, Darth Vader is my father, and tells him like, you're my sister. Like, she never has like, in the whole movie never acknowledges like
That they
anything
kiss?
between, no, well, that too, but no, that like anything between Darth Vader and Leia at all. Did you guys ever notice that?
That's true.
Yeah, because she does have force abilities, and the force is strong with her as well.
Yeah.
So it kind of like, it's kind of weird because it's like Darth Vader's been around her this whole time. So it's kind of like, how did you not feel it?
Yeah.
How did you not feel your daughter's?
Well, like, why don't you acknowledge it? Like, at least be like, fuck, you know. Like,
Yeah, I didn't
this
even
evil
notice
dude,
that.
like Luke Skywalker wanted to kill himself after he found that out, and like Leia didn't even react to it.
She was like, "Oh, sick."
Yeah, so like
I
I don't
didn't even
know.
realize
Actually,
that.
something that I forgot to mention for Empire, Leia kind of does use force in that one.
Does she?
Yeah.
When?
Because she's in the Millennium Falcon looking for Luke.
Mm-hmm.
And Luke reaches out to her.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's
Yeah.
why he gets saved at the end.
Yeah.
Damn smart.
But yeah, I never noticed that like they really don't do
Yeah.
anything between them two.
Yeah, dude. And, like, I thought that would have been cool.
Yeah.
Like, to have a scene with them, like, even if they're just like, I don't know, like anything between them,
Yeah.
like just acknowledge it.
Yeah, definitely.
But I my favorite thing about this movie was like at the very end between Luke and
Vader.
Darth Vader, yeah, like
The whole Palpatine like electrocuting him basically. And then
but before that, just like when he's just beating the shit out of Darth Vader with his lightsaber and he chops his hand off.
Oh, yeah.
And
Yeah, because he fucks him up, dude.
Yeah.
yeah, and he just like after he cuts Darth Vader's hand off, he just like sees himself becoming Darth Vader,
Yeah.
and he like stops, and like
Palpatine's trying to like egg him on to like kill him.
So the whole time he's like, you know, the Emperor's egging him on to kill his dad, and like his dad's this evil fucking guy who's killed like so many of Luke's friends and everything, and like he still sees good in him.
Yeah.
And like he still sees, like he's still trying to persuade him like to tell him like, hey, like there's still some light in you, like I see it.
Yeah.
And of course, like he's right. Like
Yeah.
at the end, you know, of course, like Darth Vader saves him and kills the Emperor. So like I think that was my favorite part about the whole movie. But like I don't know, that the last like 20 minutes are just amazing.
Yeah.
And I think that's like the strongest point for the movie, the last 20 minutes.
Yeah, because like I didn't think that Vader would have been redeemable, you know,
Yeah.
because he was so evil. But
But
I
you kind of
feel like,
sympathize with him. At the
yeah,
end.
like I feel like they were successful in being able to like damn, like he redeemed himself, you know.
Yeah, and then you kind of get that reveal of his face at
Yeah.
the end, and like I was not expecting that when I first saw him.
Yeah.
I was like, "What the fuck is this old ass guy?" Like
Like
I
looks
knew,
all fucked up.
yeah, like I don't know why, like you just see this fragile guy
Yeah.
who's like obviously has been through a lot, like in his
Yeah.
life. So like
Yeah,
I thought that was powerful to show.
Yeah, I thought so too. It's like sad old man.
And obviously the best shot was the Hayden Christensen Force Ghost. So
See, like, man, if you guys can get a copy of like the unfucked ones,
I don't even remember what the original actor looked like in that scene, in the Force Ghost scene.
I do.
Yeah.
I do too, but that's only because like I've looked it up so many times because I get pissed off every time it shows.
Because it doesn't make
The
sense
new
to have
CGI.
Hayden Christensen. Like,
he wouldn't know.
Well,
He'd be like, "Who is that?"
According to George Lucas, the reason he did that because that was the time in Anakin's life where he was before he turned to the dark side. So that's why he did that. It's like I didn't want to leave the other character because the other character was born in the dark side, the older Anakin. So he wanted to put the younger Anakin that was untouched by the dark side before he turned to put him in there.
I don't know, dude.
But it still doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
And I mean, yeah, you guys are right. It's like Luke would be like,
"Who the fuck is that?"
"Yo, who the fuck that?" Like,
all hood.
And one other thing about that movie at the end, Luke is burning Darth Vader at the end.
Oh yeah.
And it
I
gives
like that
a
scene.
proper
A funeral pyre.
like, goodbye, I guess.
Yeah.
But like Luke is the only one there.
Yeah.
Because you could tell nobody else gives a shit about Darth Vader, which is kind of cool too. Like when at the end where he's trying to rescue Darth Vader, like trying to get him to like a ship so he could like take him with him.
Yeah.
And like right before he takes off his helmet, and you see like all these fucking Imperial like troopers running away, and you realize like nobody's even trying to save Darth Vader.
Yeah, because
Like,
they're all
own son
running
is
around
trying
him.
to save him.
Yeah.
So like you can tell nobody gives a fuck when it's like every man for himself. And, like,
Yeah.
You know. And at the end, like it was Luke Skywalker, the only one by his side.
Yeah.
You know, like that's.
I think the most powerful line. It still hits me in the gut every time I rewatch this movie.
What is it?
When Darth Vader's dying on the ramp, and Luke tells him, "Dad, I have to save you. Like I have to save you, because Vader's just leave me here. Just leave me here." He goes, "Dad, I have to save you." And there's a pause, and then Darth Vader goes, "You already have."
Fuck.
I was like, ooh, that shit hurted.
Yeah, like it was a good way to end this trilogy, you know,
Except for the Ewoks.
especially because of the Ewoks. Eddie's just being an evil hater.
Want to buy Eddie the copy of the Caravan of Dreams, dude? the Ewok movie.
But yeah, I mean, these three movies are so strong, you know, as far as storytelling, performances, and they're just so good and very rewatchable at any time, you know. Like I love this original trilogy. I mean, I also like the prequel trilogy in a way, but not like in the same vein as this original trilogy. Like I could rewatch these anytime and I just have a good time, you know. And like, what are your guys' overall thoughts on this original trilogy?
I agree with you. Except for liking the prequels. No, but overall, yeah, it's definitely changed my life, and it changed like the whole game of like film. It changed everything.
Yeah.
What about you, Brady? Just your overall thoughts on this trilogy.
I'm glad it exists, and I'm glad that I got to see it, and I'm glad that I have like friends who are into it as much as I am.
Mm-hmm.
This was definitely a phenomenon in my life where it kind of it shifted into a different direction. But the fact that then this started back in 1977, and it's now coming to a conclusion in 2019 is the most gnarliest thing.
Yeah.
And it's the most like one of the most like emotions that I've ever felt in a cinematic experience, you know, because I mean we have this love for film and cinema, and it transcends certain aspects of our relationships, you know, like with our families and our friends. So the fact that this started and we're fans of it and we're a part of it, and honestly, dude, it's a little sad to me that it's coming to an end.
Bittersweet.
Yeah, but I'm glad it is, you know?
Yeah.
So looking forward to our next episode talking about the very last trilogy in the Skywalker saga. The end of it all. Forever. So.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Don't fuck this up, Disney. We don't want a fucking CGI look in fucking 2046.
Oh my god.
Fucking pieces of shit.
Dude, we're gonna lose all our sponsors.
Hey, Steve Jobs, where you at? He's still alive, right?
But yeah, so that was the original trilogy. Next episode, as Birdie mentioned, we're going to be talking about the newest trilogy, which is Force Awakens.
The last trilogy.
The last trilogy.
Mm-hmm.
Force Awakens, Last Jedi, and Rise of Skywalker. Which we're hopefully will be out around a little after, maybe a week after Rise of Skywalker, just so to give people time to watch it, so that way we don't have to worry about like spoiling anything. You know?
Yeah.
But yeah, again, thank you guys for listening. We are Betamax. You can follow us on Instagram, Twitter at BetamaxULTD. And again, yeah, thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Until the next one.